Hello everyone, welcome to the December 2020 episode of the Big Board Show for Season 10 of the AAFF Fantasy League. Just as in previous episodes, I will be giving my ranking for the top 5 men and women in the main roster and NXT categories, as well as the top 10 announcers for this month. These rankings are who I believe will be the highest point scorers if Season 10 were to start today. The first piece of business we will take care of is to identify the title changes that happened in November 2020. We'll start with the main roster men. Returning to the top spot after regaining the WWE Championship from Randy Orton is Drew McIntyre. Holding steady at the number 2 position is current Universal Champion Roman Reigns. A new arrival into my top 5 main roster men is the man that I think will be Drew McIntyre's next challenger, and that is AJ Styles. Moving up one spot to number 4 is the man I believe will eventually dethrone Roman Reigns, and that is Daniel Bryan. And sliding in at number 5 is the current United States Champion, Bobby Lashley. Now we'll talk about the top 5 main roster women. Keeping the stranglehold on the number 1 spot is Raw Women's Champion, Asuka. Not far behind and remaining at number 2 is SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. Moving up a notch to number 3 is one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Shayna Baszler. And staying right behind her partner, and improving one spot is Nia Jax at number 4. And number 5, Sasha Banks' next challenger, makes her first appearance in the top 5, and she is Carmella. We kick off the NXT category with the top 5 NXT men. Maintaining his position and holding firm with the number 1 spot is NXT champion Finn Balor. Working his way into the top 5 for the first time this season is Undisputed Era leader Adam Cole. Up one spot from last month is current NXT United Kingdom champion Walter. Also moving up and checking in at number 4 is Damian Priest. And moving down 3 spots after his North American title loss is Johnny Gargano. Now we'll rank the top 5 NXT women. Keeping her grip on the top spot at number 1 is NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai. Jumping up one spot to number 2 is Ember Moon. Also moving up is the recently turned heel Toni Storm. Following the trend and also moving up one spot is NXT UK Women's Champion Kay Lee Ray. And making her first appearance in the top 5 and coming in at number 5, she is Shotzi Blackheart. Now the announcers are up, and here is the top 10. The top spot is still being held by Raw and main event play-by-play man Tom Phillips. Staying at number 2 is Raw and main event color commentator Byron Saxton. Moving into the top 10 at number 3, after his transfer to the announcers list, is Raw color commentator Samoa Joe. Number 4 is held by SmackDown play-by-play man Michael Cole. Coming in at number 5 is SmackDown color analyst Corey Graves. Standing at number 6 is Raw and main event ring announcer Mike Rome. The SmackDown and 205 Live ring announcer shows up at number 7, and that is Greg Hamilton. 205 Live and NXT play-by-play announcer Vic Joseph is at number 8. The NXT color commentator is at number 9, Wade Barrett. At number 10 is the NXT ring announcer Alicia Taylor. Now we will cover the show big boards for December 2020. I will break down my thoughts on who are the top 5 talents on each regular WWE show. We've heard most of these names already, so I won't spend a lot of time on them. We'll start with Raw and SmackDown. The Raw top 5 are as follows. Number 1, Drew McIntyre. Number 2, AJ Styles. Number 3, Asuka. Number 4, Bobby Lashley. And coming in at number 5 is Randy Orton's next opponent, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. And now on to SmackDown. Number 1, Roman Reigns. Number 2, Sasha Banks. Number 3, Daniel Bryan. Number 4 is Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. And number 5 is Carmella. Now on to NXT and NXT UK. The NXT list goes like this. Number 1, Finn Balor. Number 2, Io Shirai. Number 3, Adam Cole. Number 4, Damian Priest. And number 5, Ember Moon. And for NXT UK, number 1, Walter. Number 2, Kaylee Ray. Number 3 is the newly crowned NXT Heritage Cup tournament winner, A-Kid. Number 4 is NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Jordan Devlin. And number 5 is a top contender to Kaylee Ray, Jenny. Up next is 205 Live and Main Event. The 205 Live list is as follows. Number 1 is interim NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Santos Escobar. Number 2 is a man who could challenge the champ, Jake Atlas. Number 3 is perennial Cruiserweight challenger, Isaiah Swerve Scott. Number 4 is one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, Oney Lorcan. Number 5 is Lorcan's championship partner, Danny Burch. And finally, here's the top 5 for main event. Number 1, Drew McIntyre. Number 2, Tom Phillips. Number 3, Byron Saxton. Number 4, Roman Reigns. And number 5, Mike Rome.